Hey everybody, I know I'm a day late doing this. I said I would be doing these on Monday, and I got distracted yesterday. Well, I didn't really get distracted. I was really busy yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to do this. But I'm here now, so I hope you're not too mad. But here I am. So I hope everyone had a great weekend and all that jazz. Hope you had a great Monday. Hope your week's going pretty good so far. Um, like I said before, these video blogs are pretty much a way for me to reach out and get a little closer to you guys, to the readers, and let the readers get a little bit closer to me and get to know you. You get to know me, and hopefully we can build a nice little relationship. Inbox relationship, that is. So let's get down to it. I actually got some emails with some questions. Like, you guys surprised me. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep moving, so my camera's going to keep doing that autofocus thing every time I move. So I'm trying to be still, but like when I sit here and be still, I feel like a statue. So you just got to work with me. But yeah, I got some emails with some questions. Actually surprised me because I didn't think I was going to get any, because I didn't think anybody loved me. But you guys love me. Yay! So let's start off with a couple of questions. And we're going to start off with one that I think was completely unnecessary, but I'm going to address it anyway because I address everything that comes across my email. First question I got was, what did I think about the whole Kim Kardashian wedding fiasco thing? And I'm going to have to say I don't think anything about that. Actually, I think that question, now I know that question came because of a blog that I wrote over on sexandthepeach.com about whether or not, if a relationship or an engagement went bad, if the ring should have to be returned. So I'm sure that's pretty much why I got that question. But as far as her and her fantasy world is concerned, yeah, not real concerned about her. She'll be just fine. This other question I got hurt my feelings. And to the person who sent me this question, yeah, I know who you are, and don't think I won't find you and take you out, because I will. The question was, how did I feel about the fact that my Steelers lost to Baltimore? Well, to answer that question, it hurt my feelings a lot. Actually, honestly, I fell asleep. I fell asleep a little bit before the fourth quarter because I was exhausted. And then I woke up to find out we lost by 3 points. 3 points. And that made it worse, because I would have rather us have gotten blown out than to have lost by 3 points to Baltimore. 3 points to Baltimore. 3 points. So yeah, that hurt. That cut me deep. And so to the person that sent that email, yeah, don't play with me. And on top of the fact that we lost to Baltimore, both of my fantasy football teams lost. So your girl was hurt Sunday night, Monday morning, bad. I just took an L all around the league that day. But it's all good. It's all good. I still love my Steelers regardless, and die hard whether we win or lose. Everybody knows that. It's just Ravens week is huge for us. So we just hate losing to them nasty little rat birds. But anyway, on to more important things. The emails. Got a couple of questions about the book. And they're actually pretty good questions that I've actually gotten them before, in person or from emails. I guess I probably need to stop moving because this camera does keep autofocusing. And my hair keeps doing this little cowlick thing too, so just ignore my hair. One of the questions I got was why I chose to make Donovan biracial. And by biracial, I mean Donovan's mother is Cuban. So he's half Cuban, half black. And Donovan is Terry's husband, who is one of the main characters. And I chose to do that because the world is not just strictly black and white, or for that matter, black. And I wanted, to kind of reflect a real world, essentially. So in building him, it was actually pretty fun learning the culture, and his father was military, which is how his parents actually met. So when he was coming into himself, or when I was building him in my lab, it was a lot of fun, putting him together and learning his background and about his parents and things like that. So I just wanted to give the book a little bit more depth, which is why I chose to do that. And, I'm all about characteristics and idiosyncrasies and habits and things like that. So one of the things I gave Donovan was whenever he gets upset and argues or angry or whatever, he speaks Spanish. He mixes English with Spanish. So every time him and Terry would get in an argument, he would start rambling off and English and Spanish would start mixing together. And of course that would piss her off because she doesn't fully understand Spanish, which in turn upsets him because that's a huge part of him and who he is. So in his mind, he feels like if she did not take the time to learn his culture and learn him, that she could not possibly even care about the marriage as a whole, which I guess I could see where he's coming from. If you don't take the time out to fully understand your spouse and their wants, their needs, where they're coming from, where they came from, what makes them who they are, then you're going to have problems. And that was a huge problem, or I shouldn't say a huge problem, but that was a problem for them, and whenever he would do it, it would piss her off. And on some level, he did it on purpose just to piss her off. So, and that was fun, writing those scenes where they would argue and I'd have to call up somebody or shoot an email to somebody who I knew spoke Spanish and have to make sure, okay, is this translating right? Does this make sense? Am I saying this right? Or is he saying something else? And so that was pretty fun. Another question I got was about Mr. Wendell. If you haven't read the book, Mr. Wendell is one of Terry's patients. And Terry was a psychologist in the book. And Mr. Wendell is afraid of clowns, and the illness is called coulrophobia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So they wanted to know why I chose him and why I chose that phobia. And I chose that because I felt like with all the drama and the intrigue and the fast pace of the book, with not knowing what's going on and somebody's trying to kill me and all this thing, everything going on, for her to be able to go to work and have to sit across from this grown man who's in tears because he went to his niece's birthday party and there just happened to be clowns there, and now he's terrified. I just felt like there needed to be a breather. The readers needed something to kind of to pace it out a little bit. I just didn't want it full speed ahead all the time. So Mr. Wendell was perfect. He was fun to work with. He was funny. He was cute. in a funny way. And actually, when he went to his niece's birthday party, she told him not to go, and he went anyway. And that turned into a session that she didn't even want to have, but she ended up having to have because he went against her wishes and went to the birthday party anyway, knowing that it was a clown theme. So I used that as a way to kind of pace the story, but also kind of give the readers a little laugh, a little chuckle. So Mr. Window was pretty cool. He was a cool dude. But they also asked if he would show up again, and I don't think I'll be bringing Mr. Window back. He was fun, and he served his purpose, but it's time for him to move on. Another question I got was about Sean, and if he was actually based off of anyone real, like an ex-boyfriend or anything. And I'd have to say no. Sean's a culmination of many different men, just period. I wanted to reflect love gone wrong, in a sense. I didn't want to demonize him, essentially, and it seems like I may have found the perfect balance with him as far as demonizing him and humanizing him, because I got a lot of emails, and when I met with book clubs, whether in person or Skype, a lot of them actually liked Sean. They felt he was endearing. They felt he was sweet. So he was human, just like everybody else. He had feelings, but all love is not good love. So you just got to be careful. And Terry and Donovan were spiraling out of control, and Terry felt like maybe bumping into Sean was the best thing for her at that time. And we're going to ignore the fact that my phone just went off. I didn't want to go in too far in either direction, with Sean. So that's why I found that it was easier to play up the emotional side with him. And that's where all the twists and the turns and the suspense came in. And even with the twist that nobody expected, because I'm good for that. If anybody has read any of my books, starting with All That Glitters to The Lies Divine to Between Friends, that'll be out in December, anybody that knows my writing, that knows me as a romantic suspense author, knows I am good for throwing in a twist and a turn. So even down to that, I just kept them coming. And they're fun because I like to read that type of work. I like to think one thing and think I have it figured out, and then get to a location in a book, and all of a sudden I hook a left and I'm completely somewhere else. The author has taken me down a completely different road. And having been a reader and a lover of just books all my life, I've learned that in reading. So I can't help but manifest it in my writing. So if you are a reader of my books or a fan of my writing or become a fan of my writing, you'll learn that from me. I'm always going to throw a monkey wrench in your plan. So don't ever think that you have me figured out when you're reading my books, because you don't. And even if you do, 9 times out of 10, it's still not going to be what you think. So I love to do that. So The Lies That Bind was fun to work with. Those characters were fun to work with, and a lot of people have been asking for them, wondering if I'm going to do a sequel or if they'll be back. And you know what? I don't know. I hadn't planned on bringing them back, but because I've gotten such a great response to them, and people have been asking for them, and I might, I may just have to see if they want to work with me again, and if they say yeah, then maybe we'll sit around a table and see what we come up with. Who knows? So the last thing I want to address is the question about the next book. Obviously, is Between Friends, and we'll probably talk about that a lot more the closer it gets to the release date. That too is another suspense, romantic suspense, but that's more law enforcement, cop driven. That book is about a DEA agent, Trip Spencer, who left Atlanta when his father passed. He grew up in a very abusive household, and once his father died, he left Atlanta. He was out of here. He felt like that was it. That was pretty much what he was waiting for. He was waiting to put his dad in the ground so he could bolt. And he did. And there was a huge drug bust that happened. And everybody knows that when drugs get involved, DEA gets involved. And once drugs cross state lines, DEA has to cross state lines. And that brought him back to Atlanta, along with a whole lot of secrets that him and some friends never thought they would have to deal with. So I'm looking forward to this book being released, and these three friends having to face each other again and come to terms with some of the things that they've done, in the past. And, these relationships go back, Trip and Idalis go back to elementary school. Idalis and Lincoln go back to college. Clark Atlanta. They went to Clark Atlanta. Well, Idalis went to Clark Atlanta. Lincoln went to Morehouse. So they have a lot of history, and that's hence the title, Between Friends. They pretty much all grew up together. So I'm looking forward to everybody reading this one, because these three friends have some ticking time bombs that are just waiting to go off. So if you get a chance, stop by my website, which is dlsparks.com. There is a trailer there. It's a little short trailer just to kind of give you a little bit of insight as to, what the book is about and what's coming up with it and everything. I do have my assistant is working on my tour dates. Right now I know she's working on the East Coast, which is like the Carolinas and DC, Virginia, New York, Philly, all up in that area, Delaware, that area. She mentioned something about Dallas, and I want to say Arizona and St. Louis. There goes my camera autofocusing. Kansas. She's mentioned a couple different places, but as soon as I get a list, I'll definitely make sure you guys know. She's also working on a book release party, which I think is going to be pretty cool, because the book is so centered around, the whole law enforcement thing. I'm thinking there's probably going to be a lot of cop involvement, but in a fun way. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also working on having Trip show up at this release party. So if you are in the Atlanta area, once this party is planned, you may want to come to the party, because Trip actually may show up at this party. And yes, there is a real Trip Spencer, like for real, believe it or not. So, but I will keep you updated on all of that stuff and as time goes on. But this is my update for the week, and I did not reach any of my nano goals yesterday. So today I have to really get on it, because I got distracted this morning. And I am very okay with that. It was not in a bad way, so I'm okay with that. But I'm going to have to get busy this afternoon and try to play catch up, which is okay. So I just wanted to check in with you guys, and I hope your week is getting started out pretty good so far. I have some more questions in my inbox that I will sift through, and any more that I get throughout the week. And next week, I will check back in with some more and see what we can come up with. So I will talk to you guys soon.